5 games in, you played Philly times in the regular season too. Do you sort of feel like both sides will have seen everything that the other side can do, or could there still be adjustments and further sort of tricks up their sleeve on either side?
Well, I think there's always, you know, some minor things going on, Scott. And, you know, I'm always talking about who hits the floor, what the rotations look like. And then there's tweaks to plays. You know, sometimes they've been, let's say, running them on one side of the floor the whole series. You know, and last night they switched to the other side, or they try to move around some of the guys that we're trying to help with and get them in different positions and things like that. So there's always kind of little tweaks like that. And I also think you're at a stage now where, I mean, you can't throw anything out the window, right? Who might go out there? What kind of defensive coverages they might go for? You know, they might. You know, you never know what kind of trick things, you know, somebody might throw at you. You know.
Right. Also, you guys have been, not this particular team, but in previous seasons have been on the wrong side of elimination games before, and sometimes you can see what happens when there's sort of a breaking point in a game for the team that could get closed out. Do you sort of go into this hoping to try to really jump on them quickly and maybe take some of that will out of them in a way that you might normally not in a game?
Well, I don't think. I mean, yes and no is the answer. I mean, I think we're always trying to get out quickly. You know, there's hardly ever a time you're saying, hey, you know, unless you're a huge underdog, you know, in a game. You know, thinking back to some of those I coached along, you know, what you're saying, let's just hang in there for our goals, you know, to be 18-15 at the end of the first quarter or something like that, you know, control the tempo or something like that. But no, I mean, I think, you know, we've got to expect, you know, a tremendous amount of energy from them from the jump. And, you know, I think that always starts with trying to get your defense set up, right? They're going to want to try to get up the floor and beat your defense down the floor. Someone is going to push, I'm sure, to try to get yourself involved in the transition game. You know, I would expect, you know, they've got a lot of guys. You know, Redick tries to get off early and has big nights when he does, and B tries to get off early and has big nights when he does. Jimmy's kind of a constant, right, that he's going to score throughout the game, and then he kind of comes to life in the fourth is kind of his pedigree. So, you know, there's a lot to be mindful of there, but I think the big thing is try to take away transition and try to limit second shots. And if we can do that, then we, you know, they got to play against our half court, and they only get one crack at it.
Right. Nick, you opened up. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just said thanks.
Yep, you're welcome.
Nick, you opened up your last closeout game, I think 19-2 in the beginning of the game. Is that level of focus transferable?
It'd be really cool if we could do that again. I mean, I don't know. I think you know, I always say this, you know, each game takes its own kind of form, and each series does. You know, that series doesn't have much to do with this one, to be honest. And I've even down 2-1, I was trying to approach it as, I mean, I knew it was a critical game. And I see tomorrow's as a critical game. We just, you know, you're at the time of year where we're trying to figure out how to get the win, whether you're out 19-2 or you get on the wrong end of that and claw your way back into it. You know, you just got to figure out a way to try to get the guys to play their best and overcome any adversity, if there is any. You know, and there will be on the road. You know, there'll be some crowd, there'll be some noise, there'll be whatever other things the game brings, and just keep staying with it, you know.
Thank you.
Yep.
Coach, you guys attacked Redick a little bit more in Game 5, it looked like. Was that a conscious effort on your part, or was that just kind of what the Philadelphia defense was presenting to you guys?
We attacked what? Sorry, I missed.
J.J. Redick.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, listen, we're trying to do it. We're trying to do a really good job on him. I think Kyle and Fred have been on him the most, but even now as the series has gone on, we've done a little bit more switching on with him. So, you know, Pascal's chased him down, Kawhi's chased him down a little bit. I don't know. He's just a guy you have to be paying attention to. He never stands still. He's always a threat on every possession, every second shot, transition. And, you know, I think again, go back to starting the game or starting the first quarter tomorrow. We need to be locked in on him and trying to not let him get going. But we've been there. We've been physical. We've been communicative. We've made some good 9-1-1 switches on him. You know, but we put a lot of work into that. You know, those guys have worked hard on it. Hasn't been easy. Yep.
Hey, Nick Sarden from Sportsnet. The last couple games, we've seen Kyle Lowry really aggressive early on, whether it's getting to the rim or taking that kind of pull-up three. How do you think that impacts the overall night that he has when he kind of sets the tone that way in the first quarter?
Yeah, I mean, I think we just mentioned a bunch of their guys that try to do it, and I think it's really important for Kyle. I mean, and you know, we talked about this early in the season. You know, we need more help from more guys, and I talked about, you know, in some of the years past, we were trying like heck to get him shots, and we couldn't find them. You know, they were loading up so much to him and blitzing him and doing all kinds of things. It's a little bit different team right now, but you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they've got a plan to try to limit his shots at the start tomorrow. I mean, they haven't really had a plan to limit his shooting. We just needed him to take the opportunities that were there a little bit more. I think he's done a great job at all of a sudden stretching out their defense. I don't just mean like taking perimeter shots. He's taking the ball from one side of the floor to the other. He's taking it vertically downhill and keeping his dribble alive. He's just being more aggressive, you know.
He got to the free throw line a whole bunch of times last night as well. Is that as good a sign of, you know, as any that he is being that aggressive and he is attacking?
Yeah, it is. I think that's one of the things we try to keep an eye on though a little bit. We want him to be aggressive and to go at those guys, no doubt about it, and throw his shoulder in there and get to the rim, get in the paint and create, you know, collapses and all that stuff. But as you know, you've been on all the games. It seems like him going to the line or not goes in waves, right? Some games they're calling that play, and some games they're not. So we got to make sure, you know, and he has to make sure that he adjusts to the referees either way.